Hey Blair, Michelle, hey honey, Rebecca's there, Alana's there, Candy's there, a lot of you Beauty Control girls. This is my business partner Clinton Brown, and I figured I'd pull him in because we were talking about the importance of telling your story. Now these girls do an in-home spa, they do a direct sales, which you're very familiar with.
Yeah.
The importance of telling your story before you start the spa. What's that going to do with the psyche of the people they're talking to? A story is like a movie or a book. We like a good story because we want to be involved in it. So I told them we would just train a little bit on why it's so important to tell your story.
Yeah, I think it's obvious though. I mean, certainly you ladies have been out and about and met enough people that we all like to find out somebody's story. I mean, do they have kids? Did they grow up in Alaska? Were they on the cheerleading squad? We just love to know details about other people because we have this insatiable desire to relate to the person who's talking to us. And you know what? If you were to skip your story, the whole time you ladies are giving your pitch or presentation, the audience members or the people who come to the spa are trying to find out how they're similar to you. So when you don't tell them up front, then they spend the rest of the time trying to figure it out, and they say, well, she dresses like me, or she has kids like me, or her husband does the same type of job as my husband does, or whatever. So you're really giving them help or doing them a favor by telling your story. Something else that's a real benefit of telling your story is that they understand your why, and they want to be part of your journey. And that's something I really didn't take to heart when I first got into this industry, is that you have a story and they have a story, but we love to see where our stories collide and help people on their journey. And you're giving them that opportunity because if you're trying to reach a goal, I know when Michelle has big goals coming up, she enlists the support of the team, and guess what? They all rally because it's a win for the team. And so there's just so many things, but those are just a couple that come to mind.
And you touched on a base. People like themselves. So and telling your story is very simple. You always want to say your full name because they might know another Brian or another Clint or a Brown or a Cook. Where you're from, they might know somebody from Montana. These little things are going to make them like you more because you're more like them. And if you really become a good listener and you hear the words that they're saying when you're meeting them, if they use the word like, that's the intergeneration, or awesome, and use those same words, they're going to associate with you more. But you also want to tell your story because they want to understand that you're normal, that you're just like them, that you started your spa business from the beginning for whatever reason, because there's probably somebody sitting in that room that probably has the same reason they want to get started. Either want to make an extra $100 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, or they wanted some purse money or shoe money, and they want to know that you started from humble beginnings and that your story, you want to talk about what you did before Beauty Control, what Beauty Control has done for you, and where you see Beauty Control taking you. And and like Clinton said, they can enlist in your story. And think about, we're talking to mostly women here. You guys like chick flicks. We know that. We like that. You like it because it's a love story, it's a sweet story, and you probably get really involved in that and follow the characters and really associate with that. That's the same thing you want to do with your story. People want to join a story. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And you say, hey, I'm going to the top of this company. I would like you to come with me. And we'll help each other. People are more apt to go, yeah, I'd like to do that.
Yeah, they actually want to join you on the journey, just asking them to join you. Nobody wants to go at something alone. When I share my story with somebody, especially in a group of new people, I show some vulnerabilities. I show where I have weaknesses because I don't want them to feel overwhelmed. They might be coming in because I've come into somebody's big, nice house, and everything's laid out perfect, and the presenter's dressed perfect, and they're talking perfect, and there's perfect food, and you think, I'll never be able to pull this off. So I try to lower their defenses by letting them know some things that are quirky about me.
Like not shaving?
Like not shaving, or I'm going bald, or, I dropped out of college to chase a girl who I've now been married to 11 years. We all have these oddities about our life. And I think that shows that you're real. You don't have to sell yourself as perfect because you're not. And they want to know that. They find security in that. They go, literally, you'll see their shoulders drop as they go, oh, this is like a normal person like me, and they did it, and I can do it too. And that really empowers them instead of discourages them.
And if Michelle hasn't told her story yet, and Blair too, you can see that they're passionate about the story. When Michelle tells her full story, it brings tears to her eyes. So she's so involved, it's so real, it's so authentic that people relax and go, they just kind of go, wow, she's real. And if she can do it, I mean, everybody knows the key word. If they can do it, I can do it. And that's what you want to do by sharing your story. Is there any other tips that you can think of that are important? I mean, we covered that you got to tell your full name, where you're from, prior, during, and after.
You know, if I have the opportunity to meet the listeners beforehand, I try to involve them in the story. I'll find where we're similar. So let's say that, well, for instance,
let me cut in here. So what Michelle does is before they start the spa, they go to the sink and she gets one-on-one time with each person. So that helps you.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So recently I was in Las Vegas and I sat down to dinner with some friends. And the girl who sat next to me I did not know. And we found out in maybe 30 seconds that we were both from New Mexico. So let's say that this happened in your spa and you find out that you have a similar geographic background or maybe educational, or you both have 3 kids. Then when I'm telling that part of the story, I say, you know what? I grew up in New Mexico and so did this lady over here. And I bring them into the story as I'm relating it, because now it's this group journey and it's not me yapping and them listening. I'm saying, I'm just like you. Remember how we talked? And they love to have, I mean, everyone loves for the person up front to mention them by name.
Absolutely. From
the stage or from the front of the living room or wherever. And so really engage them in the process. And that'll also help them be really focused on attention too, because they're waiting to get, wrapped into the story and to meet you. So
yeah, I just want to add to it. It's so very important that you mention their name as much as possible. It's music to the human's ears to hear their name. So like Clinton said, if me and Susie and we're both from New Mexico. She hears 2 things that associates with her. At the end of the spa, if you put these tips in there, people are going to be dying to be part of your journey and create a story with you. And plus, it's a lot more fun. You get to talk about yourselves, and you and I struggle with this because we don't like talking about ourselves. And I don't think a lot of people do, but when we talk about ourselves, that's really letting people, like Clint said, letting you into their heart. And when, this is a heart business, Michelle and Blair both, Blair's the icon of teaching on the heart. You let them into their heart, you're going to get into their heart, and they're going to want to be showing up at your meetings and building a business with you.
One last thing, if something could come to mind here, would be to make sure that they know what your vision is and where you're going. You're going to ask them to join you on a journey, but give them a destination. And so let's say you're trying to meet some quarterly goals or annual goals, or maybe you're trying to earn a trip. It'll be the first trip you and your husband have taken, in 6 years. Let them know, because that gives them an additional benefit to joining you in the journeys, that they get to help you reach your goals. And we actually do all really like to help somebody else reach their goals. It's very satisfying. And so I will tell people, hey, this is why I'm doing this, and you know what? I'm either trying to take a vacation or meet this quota or whatever I'm trying to do, replace my spouse's income, whatever your goal is. Let them know, be honest, because you might actually raise the bar with what their goals are. You might set a goal higher for them, but then it just gives them another way to be involved in your story.
And how long do you think their story should be? If they're doing a spa that's normally an hour, 3 to 5 minutes?
Yeah, typically I wouldn't go over the 3 to 5 minute range, because then it's a me, no matter what you're saying. So just like when somebody asks you, I use this example all the time, if you ask a newlywed how they met their spouse, they will tell you what temperature it was outside and how much air pressure was in the tires of the car they rented, all these details that are peripheral. But once somebody has relayed their story, a lot of times they're able to do it in short order and get the real pieces in. So if you find that you're going 5-10 minutes, then you need to just practice your story more and get it down succinct. And the best thing you could do is leave them wanting more. It'd be great if after the spa they came up and said, okay, you really got to finish that story about going to the baseball game and meeting your husband there. And just leave them wanting more, because they're going to stay in tune. And people just love that. It makes it exciting.
Absolutely. I can't think of anything else. I hope you guys are having a fantastic retreat in Memphis, taking good care of my wife. I miss you, Michelle and Blair. I'll see you guys soon. And one thing you guys can do from this retreat is take it and go put it into action. And I would love to hear your story. You can practice, you can throw it on YouTube and get people to look at it and be involved. If you see Michelle's story on YouTube, it attracts more people to you. So thanks for checking us out. We didn't do anything to bring tears to your eyes. We're just 2 guys that want to help you out. So thanks for watching.
See ya.